Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, today we are looking at something pretty incredible. We're basically unpacking the blueprint of modern manufacturing excellence. Specifically, we're going to break down the profile of a guy who is a true architect of efficiency. His name is Mohsin Raza. We're going to explore how he manages to bridge the gap between traditional industrial engineering and cutting-edge digital innovation. So let's dive right in. To really understand the foundation of Mohsin's whole approach, we have to start with this number. 10 plus. We're talking about over a decade of deep hands-on experience, specifically forged in the trenches of high-volume textile and carpet manufacturing. This isn't just theoretical classroom knowledge. This is 10 solid years of actually walking the shop floor, finding those hidden bottlenecks, and engineering real-world solutions that directly impact a company's bottom line.
And what does a decade of that kind of grit actually get you? Well, it gets you immediate, tangible impacts. 25%. That is the massive reduction in compliance issues Mohsin achieved for some serious global brands. We're talking Levi's, Adidas, and Nike. And if you've ever worked in this industry, you know that dealing with top-tier international apparel brands is famously unforgiving. Compliance isn't just a nice-to-have. It's literally the lifeblood of the contract. So slashing compliance issues by a quarter, that's a huge operational win that protects profit margins and global reputations alike.
Section 1. The Continuous Improvement Catalyst. Let's look at exactly how he pulls this off. Now, what's really fascinating is how Mohsin actually defines continuous improvement. For him, it's definitely not just some corporate buzzword you throw around in a board meeting to sound smart. It's an active, structural framework. He uses it as a literal bridge to connect the high-level goals of executive management right down to the daily reality of the workers on the floor. And he does this by standardizing work and shifting the entire workplace into a preventative culture instead of a reactive one where everyone is just constantly putting out fires. So what tools is he actually using to build this bridge? Well, his operational toolkit is packed with rigorous, proven frameworks. First off, he's a certified Lean Six Sigma Green Belt. He actively leads Kaizen events to drive those continuous incremental changes. He dials in 5S and 6S methodologies for strict workplace organization and safety. Plus, he's utilizing value stream mapping to visualize and eliminate waste, statistical process control to keep quality in check, and the 5 Whys to drill all the way down to the absolute root cause of any issue. This is his baseline, a highly rigorous, almost mathematical approach to eliminating anything that doesn't add value.
And this methodology didn't just appear overnight. It comes from a chronological evolution of nonstop upskilling. It started with a really strong foundation back in 2015 with a Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering and Management from the University of the Punjab. But he definitely didn't stop there. He actively chased down global best practices, picking up a management and engineering certification from MIT in 2021, and then a Foundations of Project Management credential from Google in 2023. And most recently, in February 2025, he secured the highly coveted status of Registered Engineer with the Saudi Council of Engineers, or SCE.
Section 2. 10 Years in Manufacturing Excellence. Let's see what happens when that impressive toolkit actually meets the factory floor. Check out his sequential achievements at the Al Hayat Carpet Factory in Dammam, KSA. First, he came in and built a comprehensive industrial engineering framework that spanned 5 completely distinct sections. Second, he codified all of that by creating 12 highly detailed standard operating procedures. But here's the absolute most important part, step 3. He actually trained over 80 workers to actively align production, quality, and maintenance. He doesn't just design a system in a vacuum and walk away. He physically trains the human capital to execute it. Because at the end of the day, that's where true operational stability comes from. And before his time in Dammam, he spent over 4 years completely upgrading Combined Fabrics Limited in Lahore using a brilliantly holistic approach. He physically redesigned the production floor layouts to boost throughput, but he also deeply understood human motivation. So he introduced a KPI-based reward system to build a high-performance culture, and even established a dedicated training and development section. On top of all that, he brought in smart automation, stuff like laser lights and templates so common operations required way less manual oversight. And he championed SMED, which is single-minute exchange of dies, drastically cutting down setup times to keep those manufacturing lines incredibly flexible. Moving on to Section 3, Lean Six Sigma Impact and Metrics. Because let's be real, in manufacturing, we want to see the hard data. Check this out. A 100% adherence rate for the Levi's requirement campaign.
That is about as clean a metric as you will ever see. 0% non-adherence. We already talked about how strict global apparel brands are. Hitting a perfect adherence rate doesn't just happen by accident, right? It proves an intense ability to manage strict guidelines through relentless follow-up and absolutely unyielding quality control. And beyond just compliance, look at these two major optimization wins. He built an efficiency report tool that directly triggered an 11% optimization in manpower. At the exact same time, his line balancing and work-in-progress calculations slashed excess inventory by 10%. In the manufacturing world, cutting 11% of labor waste and 10% of physical waste are just massive, immediate injections straight into the overall profit margin. But behind all those impressive numbers is direct, agile leadership. He actively supervised 12 multi-skilled operators in a cellular manufacturing setup. This really highlights his ability to manage cross-functional teams in highly agile environments. You see, cellular manufacturing is all about keeping everything tight and connected to minimize lead times and costs, and that requires a leader who can seamlessly juggle multiple skill sets on the floor all at once. Section 4, the digital edge, data, AI, and Power BI. All right, this right here is what truly separates Mohsin from your traditional industrial engineer. We are basically looking at two totally different eras of manufacturing reporting here. On one side, we have the old-school methodologies, manual tracking, isolated data silos, and lagging indicators that essentially only tell you a problem happened long after the fact. But then on the other side, we have Mohsin's modern approach. He is leveraging Power BI, advanced Excel, and custom Google Web Apps integrated with AI. He takes that isolated, backward-looking data and transforms it into real-time, highly visual predictive insights. And here is the real kicker. He isn't just a passive user of these software platforms. No, he actually builds bespoke efficiency report tools and custom Google Web Apps from scratch. He programs and designs specific digital environments that are tailored exactly to the unique needs of the factory floor, driving operational excellence through incredibly advanced, customized data analysis. Section 5, ready for new opportunities. As we bring this explainer tour to close, let's take a look at where this architect of efficiency is heading next. I want to zero in on this quote directly from Mohsin for a second. Applying 5S, Kaizen, standardized work, A3/PDCA, which is the plan, do, check, act cycle, and 5Y's root cause analysis to drive a preventive culture. That sentence perfectly encapsulates his ultimate professional objective. Everything he does, every single tool, every web app, every floor redesign, it's all in service of moving a facility away from a stressful culture of reactive firefighting and into a proactive, preventive operational culture where problems are literally solved before they ever impact production. So for any industry leaders or hiring managers watching this right now, here are the details. Mohsin is currently based in the second industrial city in Dammam, KSA, but he is completely open to relocation. He brings those heavy-hitting credentials, including his brand new SCO registered engineer status and his Lean Six Sigma Green Belt. You can see his direct WhatsApp and email right here. Honestly, it is a pretty rare opportunity to have this level of elite, digitized industrial engineering talent openly available on the market. Which leaves us with this final, somewhat provocative question. Is your manufacturing facility actually ready for this level of digital and operational optimization? Take a hard look at your own operational bottlenecks, your compliance rates, or your current data visibility, and ask yourself what the immediate value would be of bringing a true architect of efficiency onto your floor today. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer, and